Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Maximum Series Hulk. That's a lot of green to pay for this guy. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Articulated Empire is your newest online retailer for shopping for your favorite figures and toy lines like Mythic Legions, Savage Crucible, and Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, to name a few. They ship your orders quickly and securely. Visit articulatedempire.com today and build your empire. All right, here we go. We're going to be taking a look at this guy today, and despite all of the hubbub and hullabaloo over this guy, I'm kind of excited to get him in hand. Now, full disclosure, I've had this guy in hand for about 2 weeks now. I've even had him out of the package because I needed to paint up some heads, because I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't like any of these heads that came with him. I know that they're each from a very specific comic book artist's art style. And while I am a fan of, I believe this is Terry McGinnis. While I am a fan of his and his art style, this is the head I like the most, but it's still, this is not what I think of when I think of Hulk. That's just me. That's a personal thing. But we're going to be deciding all the merits of this guy based on, what comes in the package, not my particular taste. But it looks like, with the exception of like the swooshy effects, you can see pretty much everything that he comes with in the package. And I really do like this package. Whether this continues on and we get more Maximum series or not, or whatever the, Marvel Legends series becomes in the future, I do like the comic book style artwork on the package and how that's colored to match the character. I like that design element, and I hope they keep that. But here we can see some photography of the character of the toy right there on that side, some more photography of the toy on that side, and then just a big huge piece of artwork right here on the back of the package. Seeing this in action, I just don't know how I feel about these swooshy effects. But hey, they had to put something in there to justify this price, right? So let's get this guy opened up and take a closer look at everything the Maximum Series Hulk has to offer. All right, starting off with his accessories, we are going to start with these things right here, which, these little swooshy effects. And you can see that there is definitely like a top and a bottom, so I guess maybe they go this way, because there's like a little green or yellowish color, looks kind of like snot, coming this way on the tops, but not on the bottom, because why waste that extra paint hit? And boy, did they save some paint hits on this guy. And as you can see, the way this kind of works is you're going to take one of your clapping hands and you're going to fit it in like that. Around the wrist, and then put this back into the arm, and you can see how the fingers fit. It is sculpted very nicely to contour to the fingers. Same thing over here. Let's push this in, see what it looks like. You can see it fits perfectly on there, so you're definitely getting that clapping effect. Now how this is supposed to be held, I don't know. I guess we're gonna just find out how hey, they got the spider effect yellow color. I'm just kidding. So yeah, we're gonna figure out. But yeah, they're very nicely sculpted. I kind of just, honestly, I kind of wish that they didn't have like this yellowy, snotty color on there, and they were just, clear. This is the Thunderclap, the Hulk clap effect piece. It is not symmetrical, as you can see. It is an asymmetrical design, so that's really cool. I don't know which way it's going to look best, up or down, or how this is going to be held. Maybe it's just, you push the hands together. And then he does come with the rocket that comes apart. Now, surprisingly, there's like no paint hits here. You do have some extra colors of like wire. This is not real wire, it's just plastic. And you do have a blast effect that comes off. And so if you want, you can take this and put the rocket together. So you can have the rocket like this. You can have the rocket with the blast effect, or you can have it ripped in pieces like he's caught it mid-flight and ripped it apart. Now we've already seen these hands, catch these hands. There's a little bit of yellow airbrushing on the back, so you get a little bit of spray there. Nothing on the inside. They're very nicely sculpted. They're on horizontal hinges that feel very stiff. You get two saluting, karate chop, slapping, clapping hands. You do get two fists, and again, a little bit of yellow spray on the back on horizontal hinges, sculpted very nicely. And then you do get two gesturing hands, which are, honestly, these are probably the only hands that's ever going to go on this Hulk, because I like my Hulk kind of raging and posing on my shelf. Again, a little bit of hit of yellow spray on the back. Looks really nice. I like this hand, and then they went ahead and give him like a tighter, like gripping hand to hold the missile, which, since he does have this hand, it looks kind of weird. It's not really like a grip, like a gesturing hand like this is not as open, so I may pose him with the rocket on my shelf. And then we're going to get to the heads that are being shown off here. And so I think, let's start with this one, because I think in the intro, I said Terry McGinnis. I must have had like Batman Beyond on my mind. Ed McGinnis is the actual comic book artist. And I am a fan of his cartoony art style. This is the head that I like the most. It's got a nice wash and spray on the head. And then, of course, the mouth is open. And we do get this painted piece, which is an extra piece that was molded in that red and pushed through, which I kind of wish there was some digital printing in there. I thought when I very first saw this head that this was the head that I would go with and that I would need to get in there and paint inside, because it's just kind of like a flat, there's no dimension in there. There's no digital printing. It's just molded, and then the teeth are painted white. But the eyes are nicely painted. There's some digital printing on the eyes. And there's a little bit of spray and wash to this, and it looks really, really nice. Okay, so here we have this head, and let me check my notes because I'm going to get all this wrong. It's too many names for me to keep track of, and I've already screwed it up once. This head is based on the Dale Keown's artwork, from the early 90s, the Professor Hulk storyline. I'll put a little reference there for that. And then this Hulk head, which, geez, is just, I don't know. This is based on the Mike Deodato Jr.'s artwork, mid-2000s Hulk artwork. I do like the bushier hair on this particular figure, but it's just the way the teeth are sculpted and the jaw. I'm just not a fan of this. I think my perfect head would be maybe this head with this hair put on it, but honestly, I don't care enough to pull them off to see if they're even compatible, because what I did was I went on eBay and I bought 3 heads from the same 3D sculptor, same 3D printer, and this is what, and then they were just gray, and then I painted them myself. And so this is the Hulk that I kind of love. I love the monstrous big brow Hulk. And so this is some work that I did. This is my first time using airbrushing, and I'm pretty pleased with, this is my first time successfully using airbrushing, I should say. I've tried it in the past, and I'm just not good enough with it. But I love the big brow kind of, not really thinking, ragey kind of Hulk. And so this was also my first time using any sort of like varnish or hard coat on the eyes and teeth to make them look kind of more realistic and a little shiny. But yeah, this is definitely, and I have a really hard time painting eyes like most people do. And I'm really happy with the way these eyes came out. So these are the heads that I'm going to be interchanging using. I will show these off at the end, but I'm not going to hold that against this Hulk. Now going over Hulk himself, I do want to, here, let me sort of tilt my camera up a little bit. I do want to kind of like show off what I think is a really nice paint job on this guy. The airbrushing of the orange hits. There's like a darker green underneath, and then a lighter green spray. So you do get some of those, you know, striations in the muscles are kind of deep and recessed, and I think they look really nice. So I would say that the spray, even on the back, because hey, guess what? Hasbro recognizes that there's the back of the figure. They even put some spray on the back of the figure. And the reason I make that joke is because you will notice down here, while my pants are painted, I painted them because this light white color, that the fray on the bottom of the pants, it stops right here. So the one you buy from the store or you order online, it's going to stop right here and right here. You can see the slight color difference right there of the lighter and then mine, where it stopped and mine starts. But they did not paint the fray at the bottom of the pants on either one. You can see right here where mine started. And mine started right there. And they did not paint this part up here. They just stopped. Because that's 1, 2, 3 additional paint hits, and I think probably each one of them probably cost them half a penny each, and they were like, nope, that $1.50 per figure is too much to do. So that's how Hasbro does things. And then you can see some additional spray down here on the feet. And so, yeah, no paint hits on the back of the foot. Now, going over articulation, the head can only look straight ahead. There is no looking up. But that's this particular head. We're going to look at all three, and then that head can look down that far. You do get a little bit of tilt and bobble, but not a whole lot. So we're going to try each one to see if you get any better range depending on which head you put on. So here's this head. He can look up a little bit further than this head, but not by much. And then he can look down a lot further than that head. And then this head, I think, is going to be able to look up more, but not so much down. But no, not really. He can only look up about that far, and he can only look down about that far because of just the, the different sculpts offer different things there because the back of the head and the jawline are going to be different on every figure. You can see you get a little bit of tilt, so you can get a little bit of emotion out of that. Of course, this is a very soft, rubbery material, but it's got a great memory. It pops right back. I think the only thing you would probably have to worry about with this chest really is if you leave it in like the clapping position or his arms crossed and you left it scrunched up over time, it may stick like that. It may stay like that over time, and then you have these big gappy pieces in the back. But if it's on your shelf like this, you're never going to see it. But I don't think anybody's going to want to leave it in that kind of a pose forever. The articulation in the arms is very nice. You can probably already hear it. It's on very nice hard ratchets. It's got some really strong detents in there. So as far as like going out to the side, you just heard it kind of like let me know, hey, that's about as far as you can go. You're not getting quite a T-pose out of it. We do have you hear that, like the butterfly is the loudest ratchet. That butterfly, so you can get his arms back that far and get his arms forward that far. So I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Would you have rather had the sculpt be interrupted by a very visible butterfly joint, or would you have rather them, and have this be a hard plastic, or have this rubbery part? You guys let me know what you think. I honestly don't mind the rubbery part. You can't even really tell, honestly, just by looking at it, that that's soft and that's hard. You can't tell. So to me, it doesn't bother me. You do have a upper bicep swivel. You have single hinge at the elbow and just a single hinge there and a swivel. I don't know how I feel about the elbow hanging down. I don't really dig that. That kind of bothers me a little bit, but as long as I can keep it hidden, it's going to be okay. Then you have a hinge and a swivel at the wrist. You do have like this upper torso joint, so you get lots of nice range there, I think. I mean, you can bend him to the side, you can go all the way back, you can go forward, and then you've got this nice rotation all the way around. But of course, it is going to interrupt your sculpt. I mean, it is what it is. The legs, which you would think they would put on a drop down to give you more mobility, are not, because Hasbroing. Leg can go out that far, but it does kind of kick out to the side. Leg can go out to the side that far and can only go back about that far. While the arms are pinless, only the upper thigh has a pin. They were like, yeah, we don't want to put a pin down here. Like that's unsightly. We don't mind this one though. Like, why would they do that? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. This is a huge piece of plastic. It's massive. There's no reason why that can't be. There's no reason why that can't have been covered up. Like, I don't know. As far as your bend goes, you do get a pretty far back bend on the knee, on double jointed knees. I do like the splits in the pants. Let's see here. Oh, I was thinking we would get like a calf cut hidden underneath the pants, but I guess there's just not enough room in here for that articulation point. Foot on a very nice hinge, up and down, and a rocker, and then toe articulation, which, you know, may help this guy. But look, I mean, here's the deal. Here's kind of the pose, right? Like, this is one of your classic Hulk raging poses, and he can get in it. So that's not bad. That's actually really nice. While we're looking at the guy like this, let's go ahead. And so here is the Ed McGuinness head. Here is the Dale Keown head. And then here is the Mike Deodato Jr. head. And, you know, you guys let me know down below in the comments which one is your favorite head out of all of these. While we're doing heads, I will go ahead and show you my heads. So, you know, I will definitely, you can see how they're hollowed out. I will definitely have to put like some sticky tack or figure out how I'm going to affix them. But, you know, to me, this is the Hulk that I want. I don't happen to have a green Hulk on my shelf, so this is going to be my de facto Hulk for the time being until like Mezco or Mafex makes like a classic comic Hulk. Here he is with his teeth gritted, and then here he is totally raging out. And I don't know which one's going to go on my shelf. Maybe this one. I don't know. We're gonna see. But for the rest of the review, we're gonna put this on there, roll with this head, and then I do want to bring in some size comparisons with this guy. So let me tilt the camera down just a little bit. Man, I hope I get it level. That's one of the things about this particular tripod that I have, is that, yeah, it doesn't. I never know when it's actually level or not. And then I watch the review back as I'm editing it, and then like, I'm like, that's completely unlevel. So let's bring in the Maximum Series Spider-Man. You can see how he's going to scale. Here he is next to a Wolverine. I think this is probably how you're probably going to have him either, in your Avengers shelf, or you're going to have him next to a Wolverine or a Spider-Man. And I think they're scaling very nicely with those two particular characters. And these are the only other Hulks I have in my collection. So here's how he scales next to the kind of like Mr. Fix-It. I don't know if that's Joe Fix-It. I don't know. Like, I got this because the patch Wolverine that came with him looked really dope. And then here is the Red Hulk, which I happen to think this is the definitive Hulk that Hasbro has made recently. And I think they're going to do this, because this head looks nothing like Harrison Ford at all. Like, they didn't even attempt it. It makes me think that they did this so that they can recolor this guy green at some point in the future. And when they do, I will buy it and probably get rid of this guy, because I think this is the best Hulk that they've made. And you can see that he is a little taller than this Hulk. Because I love this. I think this looks great. Now, this is like a stockier, shorter, squatter figure, and this one is a lot taller and a lot beefier, just kind of leaner Hulk, but I still think this is the best Hulk. But there we have like different scales. If this head was green, that'd be the one. So let's get this guy in sort of like a nice little pose, put him up on the rotating base, and give our final thoughts. Man, I gotta tell you, it would be really good just to get a Maximum series release that didn't come with some sort of like, controversy. Of course we had, were there too many accessories and is the price too high for Spider-Man? And on this one we have, is the price too high? And, we're getting reused parts for Maximum Series Hulk. And then some people don't like the rubbery torso. It would be good for them to sort of do a moratorium on the first 2 releases and see how that goes for them. Check reviews, check what everybody is saying. But I think, the similarity between the two is that they're too expensive for what we are getting. We've known that from the beginning, and it is still true through their 2nd release. Now, maybe with their 3rd release, maybe we're going to get somebody like Iron Man, which, good God, please don't use any of the library of parts that have already been used. Or maybe we're going to get a Wolverine. And they've got, again, the same problem. Don't go overboard on reuse. Give us some really good, meaningful accessories that are necessary. Or maybe it's going to be a Captain America. Again, they're going to be in the same boat no matter who they choose for their next, of those 3, because I think that those are all very strong candidates, that they don't dip into already used, their already used parts library. But we'll see. Whatever it is, they need to really think about it. Think about it hard about what accessories need to be included. Make sure there's no parts reuse. Please make sure there's no visible pins, and make sure that they're giving us something at a reasonable price point. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this figure and this release as it stands? Are you getting him or are you passing on him? Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I'll see you in the toy aisles.